Good afternoon, dear students. Today, let's start with the process of buying and selling of shares, that is online trading system. So that will be a 6-marker question, and related to that, there are so many 3-marker, 1-marker question. So let me to explain the steps in trading and settlement procedure, that is buying and selling of shares through online system. That is definitely it will be a 6-marker question. There are 10 steps or 10 points while discussing with these steps in the trading and settlement procedure of shares through online. So before going into that steps, we have to understand a few topics such as who is a depository and what do you mean by demat account, etc. So let's have a look into that. Then I will be coming back to this portion, that is steps in trading and settlement procedure of buying and selling of shares. So before going into that, let's see that the meaning of demat account. Demat account means dematerialization account. That is called demat. There will not be any paper format. Everything through electronic media only. So let's see that what is dematerialization and depositories. So the topic for the day is steps in trading and settlement. But before going into that, dematerialization. What do you mean by dematerialization? From this word only we got demat. All trading. Trading means buying and selling of the shares is now online through computer terminals. Trading is settled through an electronic book entry form. If I want to purchase a share, so there are proper formats and the procedures. So electronic book entry form through only the trading will be settled. What is that? Let's discuss again. It eliminates the problems such as theft. If the shares are physically with us, that is valuable thing like cash. So there is a chance of theft or fake or forged transfers can happen for the physical documents. Transfer delays. Sometimes I want to sell this to some other third party. So there are procedures for transferring the ownership right. So the transfer delays can be, and paperwork also will be getting delayed associated with the share certificates or debentures held in physical form. So these are actually the drawback of the physical form. So dematerialization is the process. Now, this is very important for us. Dematerialization is the process where securities held by investor in physical form are cancelled, and the investor is given an electronic entry or number so that he can hold it in an electronic balance in account called demat account. Electronic balance account he is having for only keeping the securities. That is known as demat account. So this is the procedure or the process where securities held by an investor. Suppose Mr. A, he wants to purchase shares, and if he is having any physical form, it will be already cancellation time is over and it will be cancelled, and investor will be getting an electronic entry or electronic number, and he can keep the balance of the shares in his demat account. Dematerialization again, another point we have to discuss about an investor has to open a demat account. Definitely he will be opening a demat account with an organization called a depository. A depository should be there. In fact, nowadays, all initial public offers, that is EIPOs, we call it as, are issued in dematerialization form, and more than 99% of the turnover is settled by delivery in the demat form. Now, we cannot say 99%, it is actually 100%, other than some underwriters, etc. SEBI has made it mandatory for settlement procedures to take place in demat form. In certain selected securities, it is compulsory. Without demat form, we cannot purchase the shares. Holding shares in demat form is very convenient. Just like how we keep our cash in the bank account, the same way. It is just like bank account. Physical shares can be converted into electronic form, or electronic holdings can be reconverted into physical certificate. That is called rematerialization. Now we are not discussing that because now the priority is dematerialization. So again, electronic holdings we can convert into physical certificates, certificates for debenture extra. That is called a rematerialization. Now our topic is dematerialization. Dematerialization means converting physical form into electronic form. It enables share transfers from one account to others, just like cash. From my account, I can transfer to other person's account, those who want to purchase, just like how we transfer the cash. Securities in demat can even be pledged or hypothecated to get loans. We can keep it as a security to get the loans. That is also possible, even though it is in the demat account. There is no danger of loss. There is no theft, fear of theft, etc., or forgery of share certificate. Share certificate we keep at our home or office anywhere in physical form. There is a chance of theft or forgery. All these can be avoided in the electronic format. It is the responsibility of the broker to credit the investor's account with the correct number of shares. And every investor will be always connected with a broker that we will be discussing in the steps of trade and settlement there. So every broker, for every investor, there will be a broker. It is the broker's responsibility to credit investor's account with a correct number of shares. Now, what are the working of demat system? This can be a 4-marker question. How the demat system or dematerialization account will work? A depository participant, either a bank or a broker of a financial service company, may be identified. We have to just get a bank. That bank will be dealing with our shares. That bank itself is depository participant. So, depository participant, either a bank. Depository participant means ultimately it's a bank only. Broker of a financial service company. First, we have to identify or we have to find out who will be our depository participant. For example, Kotak Bank, ICICI Bank, etc., etc. An account opening form and documentation. That means to open a dematerial account, we have to get a form, we have to fill that, and a few documents are to be given. That is PAN card, permanent account number, card details, photograph of the investor or the account holder, power of attorney. Maybe this procedure should be completed. So we have to fill the form and some documentation. Documentation means PAN card, photograph, power of attorney details. And the physical certificate is to be given to the DP along with a dematerialization request form. If we are already having physical certificate, this is for long back. Now it is not existing only. Now everybody is opening with a demat account only. If any physical certificate is there, that is to be given to the depository participant bank along with a dematerialization request form. This was now actually not existing. It is given in the book, that's all. This was for long back. Now directly everybody is opening the demat account, that's all. There will not be any physical certificates with anyone now. If shares are applied in a public offer, simple details of DP and demat account, that is this only it. Nowadays we can see the 4th point. 3rd point, there is no relevance. If shares are applied in a public offer, through initial public offer, if we are purchasing, then simple details of DP, depository participant, and demat account are to be given, and the shares on allotment would automatically be credited to the demat account. It will automatically, we have to inform our broker and we have to open a demat account, and all the details of DP and demat account should be given to our broker. And on allotment of the shares, we have to apply for the shares. That will be done by with the help of the broker. That procedure only we are going to learn now. So automatically, once we apply, automatically that will be credited to demat account, just like our cash account. If shares are to be sold through a broker, the DP, depository participant, is to be instructed to debit the account. While we sell from our account, the shares will be debited with the number of shares. The broker then gives instruction to his DP for delivery of the shares to the stock exchange. Then the broker will be giving instruction to the depository participant. They will be delivering the shares to the stock exchange, and stock exchange will be delivering that shares to the other broker. Who is other broker? We will discuss now. The broker then receives the payment and pay the person for the shares sold. So once we are selling, we have to deliver this to our broker. Our broker will be delivering to the terminal, that is stock exchange. From there, it will go to the buyer's broker, and from that, the buyer will get. All these transactions are to be completed within 2 days. delivery of shares and payment received from the buyer. That is on a T+2 basis, including the days of transaction and plus 2 days. For example, Monday the transaction started, then the transaction should be settled by Wednesday, T+2. The transaction day plus 2 more days. That is our settlement period, T+2 basis. So we were discussing about demat account and what are the procedure for working of the demat system. So first we have to open the account. For that we have to fill the form and some details to be given. What are the details or the documentation? PAN card details, photograph, power of attorney. Then if we are having any physical certificate, that can be given to our depository participant along with the DPT, dematerialization request form, and they will be converting that into electronic form. If we are purchasing directly from the initial public offer from a company, we have to fill the form, we have to apply to initial public offer, then the symbol details of DP and demat account are to be given. And if the shares are allotted, that will be automatically credited to our demat account. If the shares are sold through a broker. So the fourth point was for purchasing. And fifth point is for sales. If it is sold through a broker, the DP is to be instructed to debit the account with the number of shares. With the number of shares, we have to debit our demat account. That is to be done by depository participant as per the instruction given by the broker. Then as per again, the broker will be instruction giving to his DP for delivery of the shares to stock exchange. Our depository participant will be transferring to stock exchange. Stock exchange will be from to other broker, the other broker to the buyer. Because we are the seller, somebody will be purchasing. And in their account, it will be credited. And after that, the payments will be settled. And that should be settled within 2 days. That is called as including the transaction day. So that is T+2. Now, what is depository or who is a depository? Depository is like a bank. It keeps securities of the customers in electronic form, just like a bank gives money to its customers in safe custody. They keep our securities in the electronic form. Just like our if we keep our cash in the bank, that is nowadays purely in the electronic form. The same way the shares also. An account can be opened with the depository in which shares can be deposited, withdrawn, purchased, or sold at any time. An account can be opened with the depository. There our shares are, so with the depository participant, our account is opened. There we can deposit our shares, we can withdraw our shares, and we can purchase and we can sell the shares at any time. It is a technology-driven storage system without any paperwork. The number of shares can be deposited, and it is a technology-driven storage system. That means through electronic media only. And here, all the paperwork related to our share certificates, transaction of our share certificates, then transfer forms, etc. All transactions of the investors are settled with a greater speed. That is speciality of the electronic media. It will be done with a greater speed, efficiency, and use. All the securities are entered in a book entry mode. So even though it is through online, all the records will be there, and all paperwork related to share certificate, transfers, forms, etc. Everything will be recorded electronically. So it is a technology-driven storage system. I hope you are clear with the meaning of depository. This is just like a bank, and we can deposit our shares. That's all. That's about a measure. Now we continue. In India, there are 2 depositories. Who all are the 2 depositories in India? That is National Securities Depositories Limited. Coming back to that, there was a technical glitch. Depositories in India, there are 2 depositories, that is NSDL. What do you mean by NSDL? That is National Securities Depositories Limited. And another is Central Depository Service Limited. So under these, all depository participants are working. So in India, there are 2 depositories. You have to learn the full form and its name in detail. The first one is National Securities Depository Limited. And another is Central Depository Service Limited, CDSL. So how many types of depositories in India? Two. The first one is National Security Depository Limited, and the second one is Central Depository Service Limited. Now, National Securities Depository Limited, that is NSDL, is the first and the largest depository presently operational in India. Out of these two, the largest one is NSDL, that is National Securities Depository Limited. Now, what is CDSL? Central Depository Service Limited is the second depository to commence operations and was promoted by Stock Exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange, and the Bank of India. Same time, NSDL was promoted as a joint venture of IDBI, UTI, and NSE. So, NSDL, from the name itself, we can remember NSDL, National Securities. So, National Stock Exchange. It is under the joint venture of National Stock Exchange, IDBI Bank, and the UTI. But CDSL, Central Depository Service Limited, is promoted by Bombay Stock Exchange, that is BSE, and Bank of India. So this is again an MCQ question. It can be, or it can be a 3-marker question. Explain about NSDL and CDSL. NSDL is the largest depository presently operational in India, and the CDSL is the second depository. Out of these two, you can see that. Now coming back to again the explanation, both these national level depositories, that is NSDL and CDSL, operate through intermediaries called depository participant. Under them, there are so many intermediaries. Their work means they are the second, the highest, the largest, and the second largest, etc. in India, working under the electronic bank system or electronic, or they are helping us to do the online trading system. But there are, whoever may be working under them is depository participant. That is called, they are called intermediaries. Without intermediaries, this NSDL or CDSL cannot work. So they are called depository participant who are electronically connected to the depository. They are electronically connected to NSDL or CDSL and serve as contact points with the investors. And if the investor wants to contact the depository participant, the depository participants are controlled by NSDL and CDSL. DP is an intermediary between. So depository participant, if we speak it properly, it is intermediate. They are the intermediary between investor and depository. Depositories are already we discussed. That means the depositories, there are two depositories, and in between this NSDL and the investor, who comes depository participant. And this depository participant will be most of the cases financial institutions. And NSDL was promoted by IDBI, UTI, and National Stock Exchange. And CDSL was promoted by the Bank of India and Bombay Stock Exchange. Both these are, they are the major, first and second largest operational system in the online trading system. But there will be some intermediary, they are depository participant, and these intermediaries are in between the depository and investor. Depository means NSDL and CDSL, right? I hope you are clear to understand. Now again, let's continue with DP is an intermediary between depository participant. For example, if you have a bank, that is Kotak Bank, then they are the intermediary between investor and depository, who is authorized to maintain the accounts of your depository participant will maintain the account of your dematerialized shares. Here comes the bank, then comes the depositories, financial institutions, bank, clearing corporations, stock brokers, and non-banking financial corporations are permitted to become depository participant. All these can be any financial institution, a bank, or a clearing corporation. Stock brokers are also can work as a depository participant. If the investor is buying and selling the securities through the broker or the bank or NBFC, it acts as a DP for the investor and complete formalities. If I purchase the shares from a broker or maybe purchasing from a bank, whoever may be. So that if the investor is buying and selling the securities through the broker or the bank, then itself, the bank, the broker or the non-banking financial companies, they itself act as a depository participant. for the investor, and they complete all the formalities. In short, if we have a broker and depository participant, nothing to worry. Our dealings in the shares will be managed by these people, these organizations. Now, next one is Security Exchange Board of India. So now we are not going into that. So just we discussed about the demat account and its working, how to open, then who is a depository. In India, there are two depositories and they are NSDL and CDSL, and they are the joint venture. In case NSDL, the joint venture is by IDBI, UTI and NSC. CDSL, it is by BSC and Bank of India. And depository, all the depository participant will be an intermediary between the depositories like a NSDL, CDSL and the investor. Now let's discuss one by one the trading procedure and the settlement of the eIPO transactions or online trading system. This will be a 6-marker question, very, very important. Who is a depository? 3-marker question. Depository participant, that will be 3-marker question. Working of demat account, 3-mark question or 4-mark question it can be. Now let's start one by one the process of online trading and settlement procedure. For the process of online trading system or the process of eIPO, what we have to do if we want to purchase shares through online. Let's focus on this now. An investor wishing to trade. Suppose Mr. A wants to purchase share or buy the share or sell the share, purchase or sell any security. He has to first approach a registered broker. Registered broker means they will be registered with the stock exchange or sub-broker and enter into an agreement with them. Then they have to enter into an agreement or contract with the broker. And broker should be registered broker with the stock exchange. He has to sign, the investor has to sign a broker-client agreement and a client registration form before placing an order to buy and sell any security. First, they have to engage into an agreement. After that, they have to sign a broker-client agreement. Broker-client means here the investor. There will be an agreement. Then client registration form. After that, after filling that broker-client agreement only, the client registration form will be there. Through that, we are registered under that broker before placing an order to buy or sell any security. Investor has to provide information such as, we have to provide all these informations to fill the client registration form. That what are the information? PAN number we have to, that is permanent account number, date of birth and address, educational qualification and occupation, what job we are doing, residential status, whether we are from India or from outside India, bank account details, depository account details, who is our depository, name of any other broker with whom we registered. If we are from one city to another city, we moved and already we registered with any other broker, that details also. Client code number in the client registration form. All these are the information investor has to provide. We have to provide the investor. Suppose Mr. A wants to purchase shares, he has to give all these details to his broker. And broker should be a registered broker. The broker then opens a trading account in the name of investor. Trading account means the account for purchasing or selling the shares. After giving all this information only. Now again you have to see that broker. Who is a broker? Again we are discussing that portion. He is an individual or firm. It can be a firm also, not only an individual, who act as an intermediary between an investor and security exchange and stock exchange. They will be an intermediary between the investor and stock exchange. Investor cannot directly connect with the stock exchange. So a broker should be here. Since the security exchange only accept order from individuals or firms who are member of the exchange. So here who will be the member of the stock exchange? Our broker. Individual traders and investors need the service of exchange members. We always want to get the service of exchange members. Broker provide that service. All that services we can expect from the brokers because brokers are having directly connected to stock exchange. They are the registered brokers. Brokers are compensated in different ways, such as through commission. In return, what they take? They take the commission or brokerage or they charge regularly fee through being paid by the exchange itself. Whatever the exchange or transaction we do, they will be charging the fee, or they will be charging the brokerage or commission, whatever it is. Without the compensation, they will not work for us. That's simple. So I hope you are clear with the broker word. Now, who is a sub-broker? A sub-broker is any person who is not a trading member on a stock exchange, but who act on behalf of a trading member as an agent or otherwise for assisting investors in dealing in securities through such trading members. So they will be actually working as an assistant of the broker, and they will be helping the investors. They will try to connect the main broker with the investors. So they will help us to complete all the formalities. So they are on behalf of trading member. On behalf of trading member means already one person is registered with the stock exchange. He is totally busy. So as per his instruction, there can be sub-broker, and sub-broker can directly deal with the investor. Coming back to the point number 2. So the first point is that we have to register with a broker. First, to find out a registered broker, we have to approach them, and we have to enter into an agreement with the broker. For that, they will be asking us to sign a broker-client agreement. Then we have to fill the client registration form. All these details we have to give. So first stage is find out a broker. That also only a registered broker, and complete the formality to get registered with a broker. Second point, the investor has to open a demat account. After completing or after connecting with a broker, we have to open a demat account, or it is also known as beneficial owner account, that is BO account. Somewhere we won't call it as demat account. We call it as beneficial owner account. From whom we have to open this? With a depository participant. The depository participant, we already discussed that will be probably will be a bank only. For holding and transferring securities in demat form, that is compulsory. Without demat form, we cannot buy the shares or we cannot sell the shares. He will also have to open a bank account. Meanwhile, along with the deposit, we are opening demat account. In demat account, we can keep only our shares or debentures. But when we purchase or sell the shares, there should be a bank account also to transfer the money. So other than demat account, we have to open a bank account for also for cash transactions in the securities market. Now you can see that demat account, that is dematerialized account. It is what already we discussed. Again, I am discussing as a part of the explanation of the second point. Demat account is an account that is used to hold shares or securities in electronic form. In India, depositories such as NSDL and CDSL provide demat account service, because under them the depository participants are coming. And we can open a demat account only with the help of DP, that is depository participant. Third point, the investor then place an order. So first we find out a broker. We have registered with the broker. After that, we had opened a demat account and the bank account. Now the investor place an order with the broker to buy or sell shares. Clear instructions have to be given about the number and price of the shares to buy or sell. We are always supposed to instruct the broker what should be today's price if we want to purchase a particular XYZ company's shares. So we have to give clear instruction to our broker regarding number of shares and the price of shares we want to buy or sell. The broker will then go ahead with the deal and at the above mentioned price and quantity. As per our instruction, the broker will go ahead. Broker then issues order confirmation slip to the investors. Once we are informing the number of shares, how much and at per share, what is the price should be. After that, he will prepare an order confirmation slip. Who will prepare? Broker to the investor. Because without, we have to get confirmation from the investor. So he is preparing order confirmation slip. Who will prepare? Broker. After knowing the number of shares and price per share, the broker then will go online. After getting the confirmation or order confirmation slip, the investor will put the signature. Order confirmation slip will be approved by the investor. After that, the broker will go online and connect to the main stock exchange and match the shares and best price available. Best price available means we are giving a instruction that the price should be above 30 rupees. So in the market, he will wait, keep on waiting. And after 1 hour, 2 hour, it become 38 rupees. And again, after 1 hour, again, it become 40 rupees. So he will find out the best price as 40 rupees. Broker will go online, connect to the stock exchange, and match the shares at the best price available. I hope you are clear with the meaning of best price. Steps in trading and settlement procedure. The fifth point is when the shares can be bought or sold at the price mentioned, it will be communicated to the broker's terminal. Because he is matching with he will connect with the stock exchange and match the number of shares and price, etc. And once he will get that much shares, whatever he wants to purchase, it will be communicated to the broker's terminal. And the order will be electronically executed. Whatever we want to purchase 100 shares, that will be automatically electronically executed. The broker will issue a trade confirmation slip to the investor. First is order confirmation. Now trade confirmation. Yes, you instructed me to purchase 100 shares at the best price available in the market. I have done this. So that trade confirmation slip will be sent by or issued by the broker to the investor. Let's recapitulate all the 5 points. First, the investor has to find out a broker, and the broker should be a registered person in the stock exchange, and that is called a registered broker. After that, the investor has to hand over few information, all these information, PAN number, date of birth, address, educational qualification, the address, the occupation, and the bank details, depository account details, name of the broker, anything. If previously registered and the person shifted from one city to another city, then the client code number in that old client registration form, etc. After this, the broker open a trading account in the name of the investor. Then what is happening? After that, the broker will be opening a demat account with, or it's also known as beneficial owner. Without demat account, the broker cannot proceed, and it will be opened with a depository participant. And here all the shares will be transferred and deposited in this demat account. And beyond demat account, the investor has to open a bank account also. After completing this much, after opening demat account and bank account, investor place an order with the broker for either buying the shares or for selling the shares. And the investor has to give a clear instruction to the broker, how many number of shares to be purchased and what should be the price one per share, etc. should be given. And the broker will then go ahead and he will connect with the stock exchange, and broker after that, before that only, first the order given, and after that order given, order confirmation slip will be taken from the investor. Otherwise, there can be a dispute, etc. To avoid all that. For the security of the broker, he will be doing that. Broker. After that, the broker will go online and he connect with the stock exchange and match the number of shares instructed by the investor at a best price. He will match it and purchase it. When these things are to be done through electronically. After this, the broker will issue a trade confirmation slip to the investor. That means, as per your instruction, we had purchased so and so number of shares. After that, now what is? The trade has been executed within 24 hours. The broker issue a contract note. So after giving the consent form, then the second thing is coming, trade confirmation slip. Yes, your trade has done. After that, trade is executed within 24 hours. The broker issue a contract note. What is contract note? In this note, it contains the details of number of shares bought or sold, how many shares are purchased, the price of one share, and total number of total price also. That means price per share multiplied by total number of shares, the date and time of the deal on which did they purchase, and the brokerage charges. If any brokerage charges are there, that will be always there for the broker. This is an important document. Which one? The contract note. As it is legally enforceable and helps to settle dispute or claims between the investor and the broker. If in between investor and broker, if any clash is coming or dispute is coming, this is the best evidence. That means the issue contract note. A unique order code number is assigned to each transaction by the stock exchange and is printed on the contract note. In the contract note, if I purchase 10 times then a unique order code number is assigned to each transaction. We get every transaction will get a unique order code, and that will be printed on the top of the contract note. Particular column is there, where it will be printed. The investor has to, after getting this procedure, after getting the contract note, that who will issue? The broker will issue within 24 hours. To whom he will issue? To the investor. So investor can know the amount to be paid in total, including brokerage. Now the investor has to deliver the shares if he has sold them. After the contract note, if he is selling the shares, he has to deliver that or pay the cash. If he purchased, he has to pay the cash. This should be done immediately after receiving the contract note or before the day when the broker shall make the payment or delivery of shares to the stock exchange. This is called pay in day. I will explain this again in detail. Here our investor is here, right? Our investor will have our broker. This will be our broker one. So now I am purchasing the shares, or if I sell the shares, whatever is. So suppose if I am selling the shares, or let's take the case of purchase of shares. I purchase the shares. That is our investor. Okay. He is purchasing the shares. Now here somebody will be there selling. That is another investor, investor number. I will be the one. And the second one is investor number 2. I want to purchase. So this investor number 2 will be the seller then. He will also having a broker. And I will also having the investor 1. That means, for example, I want to purchase. So I will also having a broker. So we both will approach our broker. I want to purchase, and here the investor number 2, he wants to sell, and he will approach his broker also. Now, both the brokers are having connected with whom? They are having in between a depository participant, and after that, who will be there? Stock exchange will be there, right? Now, what is happening? My investor, if I want to purchase, I will be informing, and my broker will be making all the contract note. Everything is now ready. Everything is ready. Now, what I have to do? I have to make the payment to broker 1, and the broker 1 will be connecting my depository participant, and from there, they will be connecting through the stock exchange through depository, and after that, my payment will be going to the bank account of the my bank account. From there, it will be going to the stock exchange. And in the same way, here the broker number 2 will be selling the shares to the, or they will be delivering the shares to stock exchange. And it will be collected by the broker 1 and will be going into my demat account. And in my demat account, it will be credited, and broker 2's demat account, it will be debited. So now the pay, I will be making the payment on the very first day. Suppose this happened on Monday, January 15, for example. Then that day I will hand over. That is known as pay in day. I already handed over the payment to my broker through my bank account, right? And after that, it will be connected going through stock exchange. From that to the investor number 2. His account, the money will be credited. That is called pay out day. The money he gets on which day. Everything should happen within T+2. T means transaction on Monday. +2 means Tuesday and Wednesday. By Wednesday, 3 p.m., the transaction should be settled. So I hope now you are clear with the pay in day. Let's again discuss. If we want to purchase the shares, pay the cash for shares if he has purchased them. This should be done immediately after receiving the contract note. Who will make the contract note? Broker. Broker will make the contract note by showing all the details that I will be getting that contract note from my broker, or before the day when the broker shall make payment or delivery of shares to the exchange. If in case of sale, delivery of shares to be done. If it is a purchase, we have to make the payment to the exchange. Stock exchange के लिए payment करना पड़ेगा. This is called pay in day. Pay in day means from my side, I make the payment to the stock exchange for purchase of shares. Cash is paid if I purchase. If I sell, securities are delivered on pay in day. Pay in day means Monday, yeah, within the 24 hours, which is before the T+2 days. The deal has to be settled and finished on the T+2 days. All the settlement should be done within T+2 days, transaction plus 2 days. With effect from 1st April 2003, the settlement cycle is on T+2 day. Before that, it was T+5, etc. More days were there because that time online system was not there. But now this should be completed by maximum T+2 day on a rolling settlement basis. At the earliest, we have to do. Now, what is rolling settlement? See, there was a time of weekly settlement cycle where the traders got settled every Tuesday. Or every Tuesday, the trade will be settled. Then came down to that came down to T+3, and presently now it is T plus. So from 1 week it has reduced into T+3, that is 4 days. Now it is T+2, that is 3 days only. Transaction plus 2 settlement cycle. Again, it is mentioned with an example. For example, if you sell shares to SBI on Monday, you would receive payment of the same after 2 days. That is Thursday. Because the trade is settled on Wednesday, 2 days after the trade, that is Monday. In rolling settlement of shares, what takes place is nothing, but the settlement every day on a rolling basis, where traders are settled on daily basis. And that daily basis can be maximum extended up to T+2. So here it is showing that again, the transaction date is mentioned as T1. I hope you can see the screen clearly. The transaction date is as mentioned as T1, and from that settlement date. From T1, then it can be T2, second day, then can be T3. So all this will happen on a business days only, working days. If in between 1 day is coming as a holiday, then automatically 3 working days will be considered as the holiday will not be considered. 9th point. On T+2 day, the exchange will deliver the share or make the payment to the other broker. If we are selling the shares, they deliver the share. If we are purchasing the shares, they will make the payment to other broker. Other broker means, in my example, I was purchasing the shares. So there was a seller. Seller's broker will get the payment. This is called payout day. The broker then has to make payment to the investor within 24 hours. So pay in day, here again I will go to that example. Whatever I purchased, so there comes a day, that is my pay in day with the stock exchange. And from the stock exchange, it will go to the seller's broker, that is called payout day. There also can take 24 hours. Once the payment is received by broker, within 24 hours, it should be credited to seller's bank account. I hope you are clear with that. And this day is called payout day. That should be done 24 hours. Since he has already received payment from the exchange, because broker already received it. He has just make the payment to investor within 24 days. That also through bank account only. On a click, it happens. Steps in trading, and the last one almost. The broker can make delivery of shares in demat form directly to the investor's demat account. That should be done by broker only, because broker is an intermediary between stock exchange and the investor. The investor has to give details of his demat account and instruct his depository participant to take delivery of the securities directly from his account, and that means which account? Demat account, or another name is beneficial owner account. So from the seller's account, it directly debit, and to the purchaser's account, it will be credited with the help of depository participant account. To work a demat account, depository participant is compulsory. Without that, we cannot start. So let's recapitulate. The procedure to get a trading through online, and its settlement. That is trading and settlement, it is mentioned. Steps in trading and settlement. And next class, we will be explaining about the benefits. So you can see that there is a new system that is through online only. And what are the procedure for that? For purchasing through online. First, we have to register ourselves with a registered broker, and we have to give few details to the broker for getting registered. Then after that, the broker will open a trading account in the name of register from his own. And after that, we discussed about the broker, who can be a broker. Broker can be an individual person or an investor or any financial consultancy, etc. And sub-broker will be working under the main broker. He will be actually assisting the main broker. Then comes the investor has to open a demat account or beneficial owner account and with the help of a depository participant. Without that, it's not possible. Without depository participant, we cannot open demat account. Beyond that, the investor has to open a bank account also. Then after completing these two procedures, that means connecting with the broker and opening the bank account and demat account, he can place the order. Once he places the order, if the investor places the order, what the broker will do? Broker will issue a order confirmation slip. Order confirmation slip should be there always as a part of the guarantee from the investor side. Then comes the broker will go online, broker only, not the investor, and connect to the main stock exchange and match the shares. He will try to purchase the shares at the best price instructed by the investor. After purchasing the shares through online, what he will do? He will be preparing a trade confirmation slip and will send to the investor. An investor will approve that. After that, the trade has been executed. He will purchase the shares and all. Within 24 hours, the broker issue a contract note to the investor by showing all the details of the shares, the number of shares, price, time and deal, etc., etc. And whenever he purchases 6 times per day, 7 times per day, every time they are getting a unique order code that will be mentioned in the contract note. Here I pasted a contract note picture. I don't know whether it is visible to or not. So on contract note, always they mention a unique order code. That is for every transaction. Because it is online, nothing to do with especially. Now the investor has to deliver the shares. If he is selling the shares, he will deliver. If he purchase the shares, he will pay the cash. He has to pay the cash and he has to make the payment to this exchange. And this process is called pay in day. That who will do? Our broker one. That means investor one. Those who want to purchase or sell the shares. If it is purchase, he has to make the payment of cash to stock exchange. That is that day. That time duration is called as pay in day. Cash is paid or securities are delivered on paying day. If we are purchasing, cash will pay. If we are selling, हम security को deliver करवा देंगे. We will send the securities. And this is to be done T+2 within maximum 2 days beyond the transaction date. Rolling settlement also. It is to be done on daily basis without any delay, maximum T+2. On the T+2 day, the exchange will deliver the share or make payment to the other broker. So within these two duration, once our broker will be making payment to exchange or will deliver the share, then what the exchange will do, if I am taking only purchase of the shares, he will make the payment to other broker because I am purchasing it. For others, it will be a sale. They want to get the payment. This is called pay out today. Then the broker has to make a payment to the investor within 24 hours of the payout date. Then what comes after that? The last one. The broker can make a delivery of shares in demat account directly to investors' demat account. Broker will make the delivery of the shares in demat account. If I purchase the shares, broker will be helping me to credit my shares in the demat account. The investor has to give details of his demat account to the broker and instruct his depository participant because our demat account are opened with the help of a depository participant. Depository participant is an intermediary between depository and investor. And our depository participant will take the delivery of such securities directly in his demat account or beneficial owner account. Thus, the payment also settled and we got the cash also. I hope you are able to understand whatever I explained. And in the beginning of the session, we discussed about dematerialization and its working and who is a depository, how the depository participant works. There we discussed about the NSDL and CDSL and that one depository. So National Security Depository and the Central Depository Service Limited. These two are there. And beyond that, we discussed about the differences between these two also. Depositories can always be a financial institution, bank, clearing corporation, stock brokers, NBFCs, etc. That also we already discussed. So students, I hope you are clear with the trading and settlement through online. So when you doubt, you can ask. If there is no doubt. So let's meet tomorrow again in the BST session. Thank you. Take care.